everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, welcome back if you're returning. So this is a long video today, you guys. I thought I'd just kind of keep everything in so I could make a mix match of some of the things I usually do and some of the things I did new today. So this is how my nails are looking. I keep a layer of polygel on my natural nails. After they grow out for about 2 weeks, this is about a 2-week grow out, they start separating from the edge, and then that's polygel under there that I wasn't able to get out because my nail was too short when I was shaping them. So I was just showing you the things that I want to repair before I do a set. Now I'm going to do a pop-off set, and before, when I have done a pop-off set on top of the polygel, and let me stop here. So I mentioned in my other video to put this dust guard up against your e-file. You do want to, but you want to put it as close as you can without it actually touching, because once it touches, if it's touching, when it turns on, it might slow it down or snag it. I also said in my unboxing that I thought this was the base for the e-file, but it's not. It's for the handpiece. So back to this. Before, when I have done a pop-off method or set on top of the polygel I have on my natural nails, even though it's a thin layer, after it grows out, it just, I have to use like two sizes up on my tips. When I size my tips, then I would put on my natural nail, and it makes the nails look like too big and too wide on my fingers, which of course defeats the purpose, ruins pictures, the whole nine. So since I kind of needed to redo the polygel anyway, I thought that I would just thin it down, and this is the first time I'm using my new e-file. And you guys, I also bought a lamp, so now I have the matching lamp. I found it on sale for, I think they're like $3.30 on the website, and I got mine for $1.60 at Nail Company Wholesale Supply. I've told you guys about that website before. It's just awesome. You can shop Kiara Sky, Young Nails, D&D, Chisel, Not Polish. I don't know if I said Kiara Sky or not, but they have like, it's a wholesale shop. So they have everything at wholesale prices, and then they have sales as well, and they have all the new products. So if a company releases something new and you think, oh, it probably won't be on that website, you know, until next month or something, no, they have it right away, and they have it cheaper, and they also have free shipping after 150. And I can't remember if they have Klarna or payment programs. I can't remember, but I think they must. Anyway, Nail Company Wholesale Supply. I've mentioned it before in some of my other videos, but if you're new here, go check that out. It's just a fabulous place to shop. You can spend hours going through their website. They have everything you could possibly want at the best price. Also, if you might notice, since this is polygel, you might notice the dust that's coming off is way more fine. And then I'm going to show you, you see how much dust gets on your hand piece, and you know your motor is in there. This is what you need to protect. Don't drop your hand piece. This is like the biz right here, okay? So even with this protector on, you see how much dust can potentially be getting in your e-file. If you don't dust it off after every time you use it, take care of your equipment. It's just something I've always done, and my stuff lasts me a really long time because of that. So I'm just going to go into further thinning and shaping and refining. Now, this, before I did that nude polygel that you saw on there, I had a couple layers of like a baby pink and maybe some, I think 2 other nudes. So even though I took off quite a lot, there's still quite a lot on there. So I'm going to leave this small thin layer of polygel on my nails, and that is what I'm filing right now. I'm not doing this to my natural nail. So I'm just going to get it to a shape that looks more like my natural nail with a thin layer left on, but all of the edges flush and everything, and I'll show you when I'm finished, but that's what I'm doing here. So anyway, you guys, I did get the matching Not Polish lamp, and here's what happened. I told you guys my portable e-file broke, my cordless Melody Susie. I wanted to show you the difference. It looks like there's not, like my natural overlay of polygel doesn't look too bad, but there's actually a ton on there, even though I only put on a little bit, because that's how thin I would actually like my natural nail to look, even with polygel on it. Which does reiterate, like I've told you guys before, how thin my nails are. That's with a layer of polygel on them. So I'm just going to further go into prep here. But what I was mentioning about the e-file was, okay, so I also told you guys I have a desk e-file that I use for my clients that is an e-file lamp combo. Well, they're both Melody Susie. So when my portable e-file broke before I received my not polished e-file, I used my portable e-file one more time, and I just grabbed the handpiece from my table lamp. Now this, sorry, I wanted to show you here, just like, wow, the dust. And this is only the first time I've ever used this, so I didn't want so much dust getting in there. This dust protector I pushed a little bit closer to my handpiece. So I just wanted to show you how much that little thing can make a difference. Anyway, here's how the nails are looking when I'm finished. I'm going to go in with 2 layers of the UNT Peel It Off base coat, but first I want to show you guys this lotion. I'm sure you've all seen Eucerin before, and usually it comes in a tube or a tub, but back it up if you didn't see that. It's sometimes hard to find, but this, the very rich, where it shows that little drip all the way as far to the right as it can be, and it says healing. I don't know what's in this, but if you have any dry skin, dry cuticles, dry heels on your feet, this is just, or if you like have a split in your skin, like sometimes your skin, your skin gets dry, that will heal any kind of little cracks in your skin. It's the best. So since I had put that lotion all over my hands, I did dehydrate with Swipe because I have to put a new top coat back on this because this is just plain polygel. So I'm going in with some gloss at top coat, a thin layer. I'm going to cure that. Then I'm going to go in with this UNT base coat, 2 layers. So anyway, you guys, I ruined my lamp as well because I used the hand piece in my, I put the handpiece back and I went back days later and went to pick it up and it was burning hot. Like, I don't know how I didn't catch it on fire or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I've showed these before on my channel. You can get these on Galore Nails. She has a YouTube. She has an Instagram. Instagram, I believe, is Miss Galore Nails, but just go to her YouTube. She has 2 series in her decks of cards. The first one I've already showed on my channel, which was right there, and she was kind enough to send me the second one in her series, and I had just opened this on camera, so I did not know that she also sent me some goodies. Shout out to you, girl. Just love her. So I've got some stickers here and some cute little ocean charms, but really what I want to get into are these deck of cards. So I wanted to use these to do today's set. So this is deck 2 in her series. So I'm going to open them up and just kind of show you what they're about in case you didn't see one of my last videos. So these are cards that are made professionally instead of those handwritten things that you show your clients. So in a minute I'm going to show you how you're supposed to use them. I'm just right now showing you like what's in here. There's themes, accents, colors, what kind of art you can do, wild cards, a treasure, like what kind of bling. So it says right here, it's a 50 card deck, and you're going to shuffle it. You're going to have your client pick one of each type from each category and then follow the suggestions to complete the look. And the real way to play is to have fun, okay? So, if you pick a card you just don't want or doesn't match some of the other stuff, you can put it away and pick again, or you can challenge yourself and go for it. So I just think this is just so cool. What a great idea. So I'm going to use the cards for this set. And I already had in mind a set I wanted to do, and it did not turn out because of the cards I picked. It didn't turn out how I wanted it all. So my length card, so what you do is you just shuffle them and then whatever comes up. So that was the first length card. There's the first theme card, accent card. So I'm going to go past the other theme card, choose a color, go past the other color cards, choose I don't know what I have laid out on the table there. I already have length. I need a treasure, so there's my treasure, and I have an accent. That's me like looking to see what I have so far, and I don't have a shape, so I'm going to put my shape down. And there's also other cards in there like, I don't know, so long, awesome. I was happy about that. I was really hoping I didn't pick short. Trippy. Now, I wasn't too positive about what that meant, so I just thought, okay, let's keep going. Line work. Ugh, this made me pause because I can't draw, but I can do lines, so that's cool. Color, browns, fall, awesome. That's actually what I had in mind. Treasure, bronze goes with brown. Okay, I can hang. And stiletto. This really made me pause because I love coffin. I was going to do coffin, but I was actually going to switch it up and do square. But stiletto. So I did pull that theme out of there, and I thought, you know, I don't really know what trippy is, and I don't want to. I just wanted to choose another card, so I chose the next one. That came up was designer, and it matched perfect because I have those stickers that she sent me. Plus, I had a bunch of others. So for the line work, I'm going to grab my disco gel, and I'm going to see if I can find one in bronze, or that would match the browns, okay? So I'm picking out the two. There's a gold, and there's like that bronze. So I grabbed both. And keep in mind, you guys, also, these cards, and then I also wanted to do spider gel. So I pulled these out as well. Also, I tried in this video to use all not polished products because I am going to tag them that I use their lamp and their e-file, because when they sent it to me, I only did the unboxing. I haven't actually used it. So, and then I'm going to show you guys how I make a set. Whether I had the cards or not, I start pulling things out, making sample nails, seeing what matches, see what goes together, and I just start dragging stuff out. So these are the things I kind of picked because I was thinking fall anyway, and when I pulled the brown, just perfect. That's what I wanted anyway. So I definitely wanted to go with that ruby sand, that acrylic that's open there. So what I'm doing now is grabbing some other browns and nudes to see what I think might match and go with, because that ruby sand has quite a bit of red to it, which fits in with the bronze, which was great. And what I was mentioning a minute ago, you guys, is keep in mind when you use these cards, they're suggestive. You can completely stick to the cards, or you can take what you want and leave the rest, you know? So they're just fun. They're just to be fun. So for stiletto, I'm going to use my universal tips from Not Polished. These make a perfect stiletto. They don't look long when you put them on, but they are. They really, really are. So I have some swatch sticks, and what I'm going to do, this is typically how I do my sets. I already know I'm going to use ruby sand, so I'm going to put that on the nail, and I already know that I wanted to use white and ruby sand to do a marble nail, so that's what I'm going to create here, and then I'm going to go from there to see if the glitters and I believe it was just glitters and if the glitters would match, and which fall leaves were going to look good on there, because this was kind of going to be my accent nail. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just making a sample nail to see if my idea and the colors I've picked are going to work. And then I'm going to grab the other browns and nudes that I had out and match them to the ruby sand. So I picked 4 or 5 nudes, so I'm just going to grab a small to medium bead of ruby sand and lay several of them out, and then I'm going to get the colors that I want to blend and or ombre with the set and put them underneath it to see if they match. This one, I believe it was double fudge, definitely has a red undertone to it, so that was my first choice. And then I'm just going to go in with some other colors that I grabbed that I thought might match and look good. But as usual, this always happens whenever I am like creating a set. I will grab the color I think matches the most, and that's almost always the one I end up going with. This was Naughty Girls, that one I just watched, one of my favorite ones, that one on the right, bottom right. Ooh. But yeah, double fudge, the first one I swatched, definitely matched the ruby sand the most. Now I'm going to grab a nude to ombre with to see which nude will ombre with. Now, it doesn't matter what looks best with the set, what looks best with my skin tone. For me, it matters when I ombre it, if I have coverage, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to use a really, really light nude to ombre this dark double fudge red color, you see. So what I'm doing now is getting that double fudge that I chose to match the ruby sand, and I'm just going to make a nail out of it, another sample nail, and I'm going to see if that nude that I grabbed there, that definitely has the right tone and looks good, I'm going to see if it ombres well. Now I saw this trick. If you want to have an ombre that blends really well, add a clear layer. So I did that on this set, and you guys, I didn't notice a difference at all. So that's not even necessary, but I was trying it. So here's the color I chose for the ombre, and I wanted to see if it worked. And it not only did it work, it looked gorgeous. The blend was absolutely seamless and beautiful. Just love these colors together. I don't remember right now which color this was, but I will show you guys. So that's what I'm doing here. This is how I kind of create a set, whether I have the cards or not. Pardon me. So that's the look I was going for. Now I'm going to grab my designer stickers and see which ones kind of look best. I couldn't really find a match, so later on I ended up pulling out some Louis Vuitton stickers that were more brown and matte. And now I'm going to go in with the spider gel I chose and the 2 gel liners. I'm just going to put them on the nail and take a look at it and see which one I think looks best. And keep in mind that I'm going for bronze and I'm going for, you know, things that match. So what I chose, I just definitely decided to keep the spider gel, and I wanted to use this one, this colorful soul or whatever that was. I'm going to use the spider gel, and I'm just going to show you what I decided on using. I was going to use those Chanel stickers, but I didn't. Not polished clear, not polished white, the double fudge I showed you, sea salt caramel, that's right, that's the color I chose to ombre with, ruby sand. Now we're going to do stiletto, long, line work, designer, bronze, and brown. And I put my hand like that about the bronze because I was kind of getting more into the gold color versus bronze. It's just where my design was going. Again, the cards are suggestive, so, you know. But when you walk into your nail room and you want to do a set and you don't know where to start, holy smokes, like that just boom, boom, boom got me going. So I put the tips on. These are the universal tips I showed you guys. And I have my peel-off base coat on, and it's dry. So I've glued the tips on with some Young Nails glue, which is a brush-on glue, and it works really, really fast. And now I'm blending the tips. Now, I've decided, I watch Taw Beauty a lot. Sorry, you guys, if I'm talking so much, but, you know. So I watch Taw Beauty a lot. And this is my Tammy Taylor file that I use on myself. I know it looks a little raggedy, but it still has quite a bit of grit on it. I do refresh it and change it out when I go to file my nails, because this only has enough grit on it to just do, like, shaping. Like, not acrylic shaping, like tip shaping. Anyway, I watch Taw Beauty a lot, and she takes her sanding band and she roughs up the whole thing. Now, I used to do that when I first started doing nails, and I stopped doing it because I figured I could just eliminate a step, and get a little faster in my time. And I did. But for this set, this is what I'm talking about, where you rough up the whole nail. I liked this because it helped me more clearly see my shape. And a lot of times when I do the pop-off method, I don't shape the side walls as close to my natural nail shape as I usually can, because when I do that, I end up gouging my peel-off base. And I do not want these nails staying on at all. I want to take them right off after the set. I've got to go to work, even though I love them, but I'm also doing them only on one hand, and it's for content. So I definitely want my peel-off method to work. But this really helped me see the shape of my nails, and I liked it. So I might be doing this more. I can't decide. You guys tell me what you think. Do you do this? Do you feel like it showed the shape better? And then since I did break the seal a little bit of my peel-off base coat, I'm going to go in with another layer and just make sure I've got a good seal there. What this does is create a barrier between your acrylic and your natural nail, so it won't stick to your nail, it sticks to the base coat. So where I already had the tips glued on, that was not gouged, so I know these tips where I glued them on are going to come off. Also, keep in mind, you don't have to have your tips shaped exactly, absolutely perfectly, because you're going to finish file, but you do want this base to be pretty good because this is your guide when you're doing your application. All right, so I'm going to go in with the ruby sand, and I don't remember which finger I did first. I think I'm doing an ombre on the pinky. Yes, okay, and I wanted to show you guys this here. I mentioned before when you tap, tap, pat, pat, all of that, but I want you to see how the acrylic isn't really to my sidewall right here, and how I get it there is just by tapping. When you tap, it's going to like pull it there. So kind of watch. It's so hard to put into words, but if you have a bead that you can manipulate, do you see how if you just pat it, it moves there, and you don't have to actually put it there, if that makes sense. And it's just, and once your bead starts firming up and getting matte, then you start pulling down so that it stays all in one piece like this. This is the way I've found that really, really helps the best. And I did forget to mention that I'm using my Not Polish acrylic brush in size 8. I love this brush. It's really, really good. I'm using Chiara Sky monomer. And I forgot what was mentioned. Oh, when I go to do the cuticles, there's two things I want to mention about that. Oh, I'll tell you about the cuticles in a second. Whenever I'm doing a set, especially stiletto and especially like on the pinky, I turn the nail upside down because it's really easy to go off course and kind of, since it's so thin and so narrow in that little tip area there, it's easy to be holding your hand facing you while you're doing your application and it looks straight, but once you start filing, you realize that you have made your whole shape, even though it looks straight from the front, and you go to shape it, your tip is like off to the right or the left and not in alignment with your actual tip. So I always turn it upside down and I always clean the undersides because I don't know if you've ever done a stiletto shape, but if you haven't, or if you have, you'll notice that if you have acrylic under the nail, it shows because the nature of the shape is so thin and fine toward the tip, the free edge, that it just shows everything underneath. So here's what I was going to mention to you about the cuticle. I do go in and use my favorite Young Nails brush. Sometimes I can't remember. I actually can't remember if I do on this set or not, but I probably do. But what I notice about using the peel-off base coat when I use the UNT that I have used here today, or I use like what other people might use, like a base coat or matte top coat or cuticle oil with shiny top coat, no matter which one it is, your natural nail bed is really slick right there. So sometimes it's kind of hard to get a cuticle bead to be where you want it because it starts sliding around. So I had forgotten about that when I put on this bead and I went a little too big. I ended up fixing it, but that's just something I've definitely experienced before when every time I do a set like this, so I don't know why I don't remember. So we're going to get into the marbling, and sometimes I try to do marbling the way I see other people do it, where you just thread your brush through it up and down, left to left and right, and that just sometimes makes a mess. So I like to do it like this. I'll just put one on top of the other, and then I kind of move it around and pat it just a little bit. And I want you to see here, this is what I was talking about on the edge. Do you see right here where I touch that? The acrylic sticks to the brush and pulls. See how it's pulling? That's how I get acrylic on my sidewalls. I just tap and pull, and it'll pull it there. Hope that makes sense. And I was just showing you how thin my marble was because we still have to put more marble on, we still have to put clear on, and we still have to put on the leaves and glitter, etc. So I was just showing you how small the beads were and how thin I was going. When I get up to the apex cuticle area, I go larger. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but I don't end up keeping this nail. I don't think it goes with the set, but I kept it in just to show you guys my whole process. Right there, I ended up blending and pulling it down, which I should not have done. Again, the best way to keep your marble is also padding. I'm telling you guys, when I learned to do padding, and I know I nag and say it a lot, but when I learned to start tapping and padding on the acrylic, it changed my entire game. And when you have a color that, you're blending beads of marble, again, just pat them in place and they will blend down. Because I used to, when I first started doing marble, trying out how to do marble nails, I thought, how do I blend these beads? I can't pull it down. Like, what do I do? What do I do? And now I have this one that's half dried on top of the other. How do I get them to blend? Well, you pat. And you just pat it to the edge. You see how there was no acrylic there, and I've just patted it and it went there? I'm telling you guys, try it. It changes things up. But it will only change it up if you're using a drier, I don't want to say drier bead, but not so wet. I still am harping on that as well, because I don't know if you're noticing, I'm showing you guys here, but I really take almost all the monomer out of my brush because there's still plenty of monomer in my brush. So I don't need it to be so wet. My actual, like the bristles, I don't need to have that much monomer in my brush. There's already plenty in there. Obviously I flooded the cuticle, which I do a lot, but I always fix it. Yeah, so you'll just see here, I'm just going to, since there is monomer in my brush, to blend this cuticle and apex bead. I'm just going to be doing lots of tapping and fixing. And after this, I'm going to put on the leaves and glitter and stuff like that. So I'm just going to let you guys watch. I'll jump back on if I have any more padding stories to tell you. It seems like that's all I say. But really, it changed my game tremendously. Picking up drier beads and doing more padding instead of dragging. Okay, so I wanted to say, gosh, it was probably 15, 20 videos back, but I had done a set where I had got myself this big 4 ounce of not polished clear and did a set with it. And I had like a whole beautiful design with like rose petals and dried flowers on the nail, but I had to use mostly clear for that nail because it was a flower nail. So it wasn't that I was just capping or, like right here where I'm capping this ombre. I was actually building the nail out of clear because underneath were flowers, right? Well, when I was done, the nail was so cloudy, you couldn't even see the flowers. Like I spent all that time arranging and making that nail, which was beautiful, and you couldn't even see it. And that is the day I started buying other clears, and I did another video on my channel where I did an experiment and tested all of my clears, because when that happened to me on that set, it made me swatch my clears. And that's when I discovered that Young Nails clear, which I had also been using, yellows. I mean, watching that video of mine, I'm going to link it here in the cards, you won't believe how yellow it is. And so that made me check out all my clears, and the only clear that I found that actually stays clear is Kiara Sky. Hands down, period. No matter which monomer you blend it with, use it with, it doesn't matter. It actually stays clear. So I don't know why for this set I grabbed the not polish. I think just because I was using all not polished products. But when I get to the middle nail, I ombre this, the ruby sand with the double fudge. And I do a reverse ombre, and you can't even see it because of the clear. And I wish they would fix that. I don't know why I seem to be the only one saying it or experiencing it. I'm not sure. And I also wanted to mention that when I'm showing you that angle of the nail, I always do this with stilettos, and I pretty much do it with any nail I do. I call it looking down the barrel. I'll aim the free edge and or the tip of the nail toward me and look at it from that angle, just like I showed you there. That will really help you see your shape, your sidewalls, and especially on stiletto to see if you have it straight. So that's what I was doing there. So I'm just going to keep capping this marble nail, which I called it an ombre nail a minute ago, sorry. And then I'm going to move into the middle nail where I'm going to do the reverse ombre. I'm going to put the double fudge on the bottom and the ruby sand on the top, which looks really cool until I put the clear on. And it's just so disappointing. You guys let me know if you notice that. And I will link in, like I mentioned, in this video, the clear experiment so you guys can see it. And the nail set I did where I first discovered that this isn't really clear, which is, again, disappointing because I love not polish. But yeah, the other clear that came in second, by the way, on that experiment was Model 1's, that Amazon brand. That was also real clear, but it kind of had like a blue tint to it, like the monomer. But Chiaroscuro, you guys just use that. So I don't know why I didn't use that here. All right, I wanted to mention right here, you see how I put this bead where the natural nail and the tip met, right? And now I'm going to be tapping it into the side to meet my sidewalls like I showed you and mentioned to you before, and then I'm going to drag it down. Yes, you're supposed to. You can put it the bead, your first bead, the first bead that you lay down on a nail, you can put it anywhere. You can start at the bottom, you can start at the cuticle. You can do it anyway, but if you're going to do this, because I notice this a lot when I'm watching other channels, if you're going to do this and you're going to put a bead right there where I put this one, make the bead big enough that you can pull it down to your free edge. Keep it all in one piece. If you put your first bead there, but it's a tiny wet bead, and you blend it and pull it down like this, and it only comes down like a ½ inch, and the rest of your nail is not covered, now you're behind the 8 ball. You're going to have to put a bead below that and below that and below that, and then try to blend them, and they're going to be uneven, like that application video I showed you guys. And I don't know if I said it correctly in that video, what I just said here. If you're going to start there, start with a big enough bead to pull it all the way down. If you aren't comfortable doing beads that big, then start lower, because you don't have to start where your tip and your natural nail meet. People say that and advise that, but guess what? You're going to get acrylic there anyway. You're going to build your apex anyway, aren't you? So if you're not comfortable with bigger beads like that, start lower. And here's a good example of where the way the peel-off base coat makes the cuticle beads slip around. I think if you guys saw that, I don't know. Anyway, that was a tip I keep meaning to say and I always forget. Another tip I definitely have for you guys, I will show you the next time I cap, because that's where it's easiest to see, so I'll jump back on then. Right here, I'm just going to be blending this ruby sand down over the double fudge. So you guys can probably tell there's hardly any difference in color between those two that I just did there, the ruby sand and double fudge, which is what I loved about this brown when I first got it, the double fudge, because it had so much red in it. I just loved that. So I want you to see how I'm aiming my brush. This was the other tip I had for you guys. As we go here, I want you to see how to keep the acrylic on the top of the nail and away from the sidewalls, to keep my sidewalls narrow and from being too wide so I don't have to do much filing, I will actually aim my brush, I guess at like a 45-degree angle. I'll actually turn it in so that I'm pushing all the product to the top. So hopefully that'll help, and maybe you'll see it more here. Like, just watch the angle of my brush, and you can start to see right here, right now, where I needed to fill in that space and I needed to put that clear. You'd think when it dries that's going to go away, that cloudiness, but it doesn't. It doesn't ever go away when it dries. It stays cloudy like that. Wait till you see the finished product of these nails. You can't tell I have two colors there. You can't tell I have an ombre. Yes, they're really, really similar, but I wanted it to be subtle. And because I'm going to use a matte top coat, it should have come through pretty clearly. And here comes a plane. Hold on. Okay, sorry. I live near a gigantic Air Force base. So see, I tried doing the marble like other people do, and do you see what a disaster that turned into? I hate that. That's why I just don't do it. So sometimes I will marble like that as well. Like if I end up putting on too big or too wet of the beads, I'll just hold my finger down and let the marble happen, like you saw me doing there. And here's another example of me just patting the acrylic to the edges. You see how I don't have to put any there or drag it there? And that also keeps my sidewalls tight to the shape of the tip. So yeah, that just made to me, when I do that that type of blend, it makes a muddy look and my marble doesn't come out too clear. I really wanted this marble to be vivid as far as there being more white. Every time I do a marble, I think that's how I want to do it, and it never comes out that way. So this time I made sure to like use more white than the other color. And again, I'm trying this clear bead over my marble. And again, I'll let you guys know that's a waste of product, time, nail thickness, all that. It doesn't do anything that I could tell. And then I'm going to be ombreing with the sea salt caramel, which is, you would think just a nude, but it's really a unique color. Really, really pretty. Oh, I had something else to say, but I don't remember, so I'm going to jump off, and I'm sure when I jump back on will be about 12 seconds from now. Okay, so right there when I was tapping that nail, that was me deciding that out of all the nails, I liked the way that looked the best, and I wanted my other nails to basically be that way. And this is another example of how I just let the nail flow sometimes, and the marble looks good. So if you guys haven't tried that, give it a shot. Also, sorry, I was in the zone and a little out of frame here, so I did keep in frame what was there, but sorry about that. All right, right here is where I decide, nope, I just, no. And as I'm looking at the set right here, watching this back, I just wanted to show you guys my new lamp and how pretty it is. Oh, and I got such a good deal as it makes it even better. But you know, see the cloudiness on that middle finger? Oh my gosh. Okay, anyway, I slowed this down so you can see how I pick up a bead, how I really drain that brush quite a bit. That was just a little slow-mo for you. But yeah, take a look at the middle nail and how I pick up beads. I was just showing you, and I decided to just big dog marble this one to kind of speed things along because I had already done that nail. So yeah, again, looking at this set now as I was watching it back, that nail didn't look too bad. It was cute. I just didn't it was a good nail. I just didn't think it went with the set, and I wanted it to be just a little more classy. And I also decided not to use any bronze or any stickers. I just wanted the set to be, I guess, simple or plain or whatever you might want to label it. But, and I also think it's a shame sometimes that, like, let's just say I wanted to do a set of nails and I found a color on my shelf that I just loved, and I just want all 5 nails to just be that color and that's it. I couldn't really post that because it doesn't have glitter, it doesn't have a marble, it doesn't have an ombre, there's nothing encapsulated, there's no nail art, there's no bling. Like, I don't know, sometimes I just think a simple set is prettier. Also, toward the top of the nail, I didn't need my marble to be perfect or cute or anything because I was going to ombre over it. So that's why I kind of just blended that out there. Anyway, I will let you guys watch. And you can see here that motion I'm doing with my brush where I'm pushing the product to the top. Pardon me. That's what I was trying to mention to you guys about my brush. Since I didn't really have an accent nail with this set, and I had taken off the other one, I thought if I used that ruby sand and made it really wet, just went with some really thin wet beads, that it would add a little bit of that shimmer, that pretty much the same reddish brown as in the marble, but add a little shimmer to it. And I didn't really know how it was going to look, so you'll just watch me kind of trying this out and then end up seeing me really wetten and thin it out, because that's what's going to end up looking best. I thought I would just put like a little vein kind of through it, but it wasn't really showing up. It wasn't giving anything different to the nail. So, but it did add a nice shimmer when I did this with it, though. You have to turn it to certain angles to see it. But again, you can't even tell I did that once I cap it with this clear. And anytime you might get a glimpse of that middle nail, I want you to take a look at it and comment, tell me what you think, because you can see the cloudiness, and you can also see it on a couple of my ombres. So I think I'm going to reach out to them about that and ask if they have anybody else. Maybe I'm using too thick of a bead, too dry of a bead. Maybe I need to make multiple layers to do my capping. Maybe I shouldn't do it all in one large bead like that. That could be it. If you guys have a solution, or you think you know what's happening, see that slipping on that base coat? It's so funny. I also have a hard time getting it into the cuticle area with this base coat on, because it just doesn't want to go there. I don't know. Anyway, I will let you guys watch, and please comment if you have a solution or no. Maybe I am doing something wrong. Maybe it's not even nail polish. Okay, I've definitely showed this on my channel before, but I just wanted to show you guys real quick. You see, as soon as I'm done with my brush, I simply wipe it off and I stick it in this cup. And that's it. That's all I ever do to clean my cup. That's Chiaroscuro monomer in there, nothing else. And that's it. Next time I want to use my brush, I'll pull it out, wipe it off, and go to town. It's never dirty. It's never... I never need to clean it. So if you don't have one of those cups, you go get yourself one. They have them for like $3 on Shein and about $6 on Amazon. And so I'm going to get into filing here. And you guys, I'm only going to show you the filing on the thumb. I'm going to complete the thumbnail so you can see the filing, the finished shaping, the matte top coat, and the finished look. And then I'll show you the set, but I only show you the rest of what I'm doing on the thumb, so this video isn't any longer. So I have the e-file turned up to about 11, and what I have heard about like Chiaroscuro e-files and the not polished e-file, here I'm going to change my Tammy Taylor peel and stick file, 100 on one side, 180 on the other. Anyway, is that they're more powerful. Like if you put your Melody Susie on a speed of 4, you're going to need your Chiaroscuro or not polished e-file to be like on a speed of 2, that they're more powerful. I definitely noticed that it's powerful. I definitely noticed it's completely silent, no vibration, didn't hurt my hand at all. I'm showing you guys the angle there. But the speeds were pretty much the same. I used an 11 for my finished filing, and I used a 4 for my prep, the sanding band prepping that I did at the beginning. And on my poly gel in the beginning, I used about a 7. So the speed is accurate. It's what you're used to. The difference is how light the handpiece is, the 0 vibration and 0 sound. That is just makes it an absolute luxury to hold in your hand and use. I definitely love it. 5-star review all the way. And I do stagger my files. If you'll notice here, the Tammy Taylor, I'll put it just a little bit stuck out to the side, like you can see. One side, the 180 on one side and the 100 on the other. And that's so I can get into the cuticle area really good. If you saw how I was doing that, I'll do it again when I go to the 180 side, because I do the filing with the 100 and then I buff out the scratches of the 100 with the 180 side. So here, see how I can get really into my cuticle there without like hurting myself. I can just jam it up in there. That's why I stagger those files. So if you have one of these, try that. It works really good. Let's see, another thing is there's not much filing to do because I kept my application pretty trim. So this is going to end pretty quick. After this, I'm going to put on some matte top coat and some spider gel. And I believe that's it for the set, you guys. Super easy. And there's a good dusty for you. You guys, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. I don't think I have anything else to jump back on for. I hope you liked the set. After this posts, I will link those cards I mentioned to you of the time I noticed the not polish clear being really cloudy, the clear experiment I did, and I'm also going to link my application video for any of you guys that are new. So you guys have a beautiful day. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, for spending your time with me ever, if at all, and especially today. Appreciate all of you guys. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you guys next time.